Alright, Blaze, here we go. We're going to play the video. Alright, this is pretty good. A couple of minor things to point out, I think. So we get started here. The main thing in this first array here is, after the makeup shot, which is okay, is really footwork here. I think you pretty much really just slow yourself down here a little bit too much, whether you kind of got up on the targets too quickly, so you have to walk past them slowly, or you weren't really, what am I trying to say here? Your feet got a little bit ahead of your gun, so you can't really move aggressively forward because you're being conscious of the 180 here, I think. So your technique is good. You're just slow. Not really in a bad way, but you're just moving slowly, consciously moving slowly here. Your smoothness, going, crossing over there, having your ball of your foot come down first is really good. Like I said, the technique is good. You just are forcing yourself to go too slow, I think, because the makeup shot kind of threw off your rhythm here. The other thing, and it's really minor, I mean, we're talking like tenths of a second here, but let's just listen to the cadence here on these targets. So it's a little bit of double tap, space, double tap, space. Very, very small amount. So your split here is a 20. Your transition is a 21. Transition's a 31. And your split is a 19. Transition is a 33. And then your split is a 17. So you're losing maybe a tenth of a second there on transitions, which again we're just nitpicking tenths of a second here at a time. But there is a little bit of time to be gained there. Mostly going from the second target to the third target, because the transition of this target's going to be a little bit slower because of the partial, obviously. Then we go to the next position. This is good. You do this thing here where you spank the mag in, and we see it on the next video too. It doesn't cost you any time here, but we want to avoid that as a habit, because in a classifier situation or speed shoot situation, that's costing you, I don't know, it would cost you a few tenths, maybe half a second, to spank that mag in every time. So on a stand and shoot situation, you really want to avoid that. On this, it doesn't hurt you, and you're making sure you're getting it in there. So I'm not too worried about it. But you come in here, you come in here pretty hard, and then this is the problem I see in this position. See, your heels are coming off the ground. You're sort of leaning forward, and that kind of messes you up for the rest of this whole position. So a couple things with that, and I've seen it from watching a couple of your other videos that you've posted on Facebook. You definitely come in and stand up in almost every position. So you see here, your knees have a little bend to them. You land, and then you're almost fully upright. You're upright and then some, because you're leaning forward on your toes. So you're really, really up and stiff. If you had to go to another position from here, what would happen with your body mechanics is you would kind of come down a little bit, your knees would bend, and you'd step and then stretch out from there, because you need to push off of your back leg, right? So imagine we were moving to the left. You would squat a little bit to bend this knee, and then that leg would extend to push you to the left. If you came into this position and you kept your knees a little bit bent, in order to do that sort of push off and extend, you could just extend your right foot, your right leg, and you'd be moving in that position again. So coming in a little bit too hard and leaning forward is definitely a time killer in this situation, but in general for you, and go back and look at some of your videos, especially the 3-gun videos, where it's sort of run to this box, stop, shoot some stuff, run to this box, stop, shoot some stuff. Every time you come in low and then stand up, the standing up is costing you time, and then getting low again to leave is costing you a little bit of time. And again, it might be 2 or 3 tenths coming in and 2 tenths coming out, but add that up, from 2 or 3 positions on a stage, and that's over a second right there. The last thing here, and I don't know if it's because you had that little off balance step forward, but just a positioning thing. During the walkthrough, you really want to try to pick out a spot that you can see all of these targets from. So there's the steel, these two tuxedo partials, the headshot, and then this guy back here. So for most of the people whose videos I'm reviewing, they either have their right foot just behind this rock here, or if you come all the way over here with your left foot at the end of this stick, you can swing through all of these targets without moving. So you get to this part here, right here, and you realize you can't see it, so you have to move your foot. So actually, if you were just a foot back, or maybe even 6 inches back, standing with your right toe on this rock, you could see that and see everything, or even if you were over here. So whatever your sort of visual aid that you picked during the walkthrough, and I don't know if that's just something you missed because you came in off balance, or you weren't really thinking about ahead of time where to go. I think in the second run through, for most of the people, and we'll see it for you in a minute, I think you do it a lot better. For most of the people in their second walkthrough, they're really looking with their eyes to whatever spot they're planning on going to, and they're getting there. For the people that sort of came in and maybe looked a little bit lost, they probably didn't plan ahead to where they're going to end up, and they just end up somewhere, and they just shoot from there. So let's go back, not go back, but let's go forward, look at your other video. Here we go. All right, good. So this one I think is a lot better. You're a lot smoother in the first position, for the first array, the steel and the first target. Watch here. I think your footwork's a lot better. You slow down a little bit, but you shoot these on a much better cadence. We have, well, let me do some math here. 24 split. That's not what that is. 22 split. Sorry, am I looking at this right? Yeah. Okay. 22 split, then a 26 transition, 21 split, 27 transition. I don't know why I'm bad at math today. And then a 27, 28 split. So I think you're a lot smoother there coming through this array. The transition here is really smooth. Your footwork is, you're in the right spot, so you can turn, get to it right away. You don't lower the gun at all, so this is good. The gun doesn't dip down. It's straight across at eye level. I like this. You do spank the mag in there again, but you come in here, again, notice your feet. You're behind this rock with your right foot, which is the position we want to be in. So I'm not sure if... Yeah, it looks like you probably pick up this spot with your eyes before you get where you're going, because you're not looking at the mag anymore, and you're not looking at the target. So you're picking up somewhere where you want to go, whether that was conscious or not. You're picking up where you want to stop, and then at this point, you're looking at the target. Your body, once you spotted that spot, your feet will figure out how to get there. Now you can address your attention to the next target. You do that really well here. You still do the thing where you stand up a little bit. So if we'll slow it down even more. So you come in here, look how bent your right knee is. You come in low, and then you kind of come all the way up. And now you're pretty much in a fully upright position here. So it's the last position on the stage. It doesn't really cost you much, but that little bit of extra standing up, maybe a half a tenth, maybe a tenth. And then again, from this position, you can swing and see every target without having to adjust your feet, which is perfect. Let me look at your transition to the last target. Yeah, it looked a little slow. Ideally here, head. So you're 60, you're 72 there. So I think, for most of these reviews, I was telling people under a 70 would be pretty good. I think for you at your level, we'd be looking at more like a 50. So from this headshot over to here, this is just a straight swing to a wide open target. I'd like to see that maybe be a 50. And that's something you can work on with that drill that AJ does, the distance change-up drill. So if you had a close target here, and then go out to the headshots, and then an immediate swing to the right. So as soon as you call that shot on the head, you want to be snapping the gun over here to the right. So it's not killing you, but again, 2/10 there, maybe a tenth with your sort of just body position in the last position. There's not a whole lot of time that you could have gained on this stage really to go a whole lot faster. This run was really good. So let me look at this again. What your Wish I would have kept the camera still here so I can see what your head and your eyes are doing. But as soon as you shoot this second headshot, I want to just see your head and your eyes snap to this target and the gun follow, and quick follow-ups there. So if you could have got this shot here off around 12 and then the split around 12:20, that would have been awesome. So again, that's just a drill, that distant change-up drill you can do, and you can change the order you go in. You know, you can change where it's a headshot on the far target or a little steal like we do in the class. You know, you can change the order that you do it, left to right, right to left, the back one first and then the two close ones, or the two close ones and then the back one. Switch it around, switch the width from the two close targets, stuff like that. But overall, this looked pretty good. I think your main thing to work on that would help you in USPSA is just having a little bit more of that athletic stance when you come into each position, staying a little bit lower. And it really jumps out at me on the videos because it's something that I try to tell myself to do, and I don't always necessarily do it. And if I see third-person video of myself, which I don't see that much, I do the same damn thing. So it's one of those things just to kind of, now that you're aware of it, and if you have people videoing you, you'll start to notice it a lot more. Thanks.